Hey, Bruce Naylor. Welcome to Coffee Break. How you doing? Hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving weekend if you live here in the States, or just a great weekend in general. So we got a question here from Steve Whitley. He's been a friend of the channel, and he's responding actually to a video I posted quite some time ago called The Value of a Windows PC over Mac. Boy, did that one get a lot of thumbs down, as well as a lot of, I don't know what this whole Mac versus PC thing really is. But at any rate, Steve begins by saying, hey, Bruce, I was doing some research, went back to this video from a year ago. Personally, I started on a Tandy and went to a Power Mac and migrated back to the Windows platform many years ago. I agree with your thoughts on Windows 8 and Windows 10, and I also believe that nowadays even the GUI on the Windows PC has dramatically improved and significantly negated the added value of a Mac for use in this area. However, I seem to think that you mentioned you used a Mac for your YouTube stuff such as video editing. Maybe I'm wrong, ? So the reason I'm checking things out is I'm selling my Surface Pro 3 and will be purchasing either an Apple or PC mobility platform. From that platform, I've been convinced by friends and family to try blogging, maybe even podcasting. Your thoughts on the proficiencies and necessities of being in the Apple world with regards to this matter would be appreciated. Well, hey, Steve, when you say the either Apple or PC mobility platform, I'm guessing you are referring to a laptop. And if you're talking about an iPad, that's a little bit different animal. First off, let me assure you that there is no compelling reason to choose the Apple ecosystem for creating blogs or podcasting or video editing, illustration, or just any creative endeavor, really. It's all a matter of preference. I prefer Final Cut Pro 10, and that runs on Mac. However, I also happen to like Vegas Pro and DaVinci Resolve. It's just that, you know, my Final Cut Pro is kind of the top of the list, and that's only available on the Mac platform. And I'm not going to get into the whole Hackintosh discussion right there. There is no reason, Steve, to spend the money on Apple hardware if something that will give you the same or better performance for a fraction of the price will do the same exact thing. To me, the Apple ecosystem is one that I don't take a lot of advantage of that some people I know do. I'm not as integrated in the ecosystem. Yes, I do have my music on, iCloud? But I don't use a lot of the different things of the ecosystem. I'm more of a productivity guy. Whatever gets the job done wins. It just so happens that Final Cut Pro is the compelling reason that I've been sticking with the Mac side of things. But you certainly don't have to. It's not going to benefit you in any way that I know of as far as being a creative or doing creative things at all. Somebody have to explain that one to me. When it comes to video editing, it's just that it's not even the speed of Final Cut that a lot of people like to talk about. It is more, it just seemed more intuitive to me. Remember, or maybe you didn't know, but I had no experience in editing video until I bought my first Mac, and it came with iMovie. And I kind of tinkered around with it. But when I seen Final Cut Pro 10 the first time, it just made sense to me the way it worked. I didn't have a preconceived notion, if you will, on how to edit video, with timelines and all. I didn't really have that baked in where a lot of editors do. And that's why so many people moved from the older version of Final Cut Pro, which was, I think, 7 or whatever, when they dumped it and went to Final Cut Pro 10, and these guys moved over to Premiere, and Premiere just, you know, runs and does things better on PC than it does on Mac. It's not optimized for Mac like Final Cut Pro is. That's it, Steve. I mean, the whole Adobe Creative Cloud runs great on PC. Audacity, which is a free audio editor, that's what I use on my Mac, runs on PC. really any tool that you want for blogging, and creating content is available on the PC. So to think for just a moment that, a creative needs to be in that Mac ecosystem is it's just a dead wrong thing. You'll be just fine with PC. There's no problem there, no reason. Unless you have a compelling piece of software that only runs on Mac, then it doesn't make any sense unless, and I'll say this, if you like the whole way that Mac operating system works and you enjoy Apple products and you think you might like that ecosystem, and then fine. But if it's strictly, hey, they tell me that I need a Mac to do this and, to edit video, or I need a Mac to edit photos, etc., then that's just dead wrong and it makes absolutely no sense. So hopefully I've answered your question. Why I have a Mac? Because of Final Cut Pro only. That's the only reason why. I do enjoy Macs. I like the operating system. I like the way they work. I like using Time Machine and other features of the Mac operating system. But, I can get along without them just fine. It's just that I, was in a position to be able to buy one, and it's something I like, but it's not something I need. So hopefully that answers your question.